The most intense WNBA showdown of the season just happened.
I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. They call me a god.
The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky, but all eyes were on Caitlin Clark as she delivered a performance that stunned Angel Reese and everyone watching. If you thought you knew who was in charge, think again. This was the day Caitlin Clark showed everyone who truly dominates the court. It wasn't just a game, it was a turning point. On August 30th, the long-awaited match between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky finally took place. This was not just another game. It was a big deal because it featured two of the most exciting rookies in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Fans had been eagerly waiting for this moment, and the energy in the stadium was electric. Both players were eager to prove themselves, making the game feel like a must-see event. Caitlin Clark, known for her sharp shooting and playmaking, faced off against Angel Reese, who dominates with her strength and presence in the paint. The game lived up to all the hype, and by the end, it became clear that fans had witnessed something special. From the first moments of the game, it was clear that both teams were fully prepared to battle. Indiana's Aliyah Boston started strong by passing the ball to Kelsey Mitchell, who quickly scored. Chicago's Lindsay Allen responded with a basket, leveling the score. Caitlin Clark soon made her mark by delivering a perfect pass to Nalissa Smith, who scored another 2 points. The pace of the game was fast and intense, with Chicago's Cardoso answering back with a score, keeping the pressure high. Clark attempted her first long-range shot, but it didn't go in. Smith, however, drew a foul and made one of her 2 free throws. Michaela from Chicago then charged in to score, giving Chicago a slight lead. But Clark wasn't done yet. She sank a three-pointer to put Indiana back in the lead. The energy in the game continued to rise. Lindsay Allen hit 2 three-pointers in a row for Chicago, causing the crowd to cheer loudly.
Jab, step, eye-arcing shot for both of these teams. Allen once again goes back to back.
Kelsey Mitchell tried to respond, but missed her shot. Allen then extended Chicago's lead with a mid-range jumper. Michaela added another three-pointer for Chicago, increasing their lead to 9 points. Angel Reese, who had been quiet so far, made a strong move to score a tough 2-pointer, cutting into the lead. Chicago scored again, forcing Indiana to call a timeout. After the break, Caitlin Clark made a quick move, slicing through the defense for an impressive layup. Rachel Banham of Chicago made a 3-pointer, trying to slow down Indiana's momentum. But Clark wasn't having it. She set up Kelsey Mitchell for a smooth basket, bringing the score closer. Mitchell then sank a 3-pointer, shrinking Chicago's lead even more. With only 2 minutes left in the first quarter, Lexi Hull stepped up and made a critical 3-pointer, putting Indiana within reach of taking the lead. Clark followed up by assisting Tim for a 2-pointer and drawing a foul. By the end of the first quarter, Chicago was barely ahead, leading 26-23. The second quarter started explosively. Caitlin Clark hit a deep three-pointer, tying the game. The crowd went wild as Clark followed it up with another three-pointer, sending shockwaves through the arena. But Chicago wasn't backing down. Dana Evans quickly responded with a two-pointer, keeping the game tight. Clark continued to dominate, setting up Wheeler for another Indiana basket, keeping their momentum going. Chicago's Michaela scored, but Indiana had found their groove. Demirez Dantas stole back the lead for Indiana, though Michaela tied it up once again. Kelsey Mitchell then weaved through defenders for another layup, putting Indiana back in front. Mitchell wasn't finished. She added another score and then drained a three-pointer, pushing Indiana's lead to 10 points. Chicago tried to fight back with a two-pointer from Banham, but Clark kept the pressure on with another layup. Chicago's offense started to struggle, and although Allen scored for Chicago, it wasn't enough to close the gap. Angel Reese hit a three-pointer, but Clark quickly answered with a layup of her own. By halftime, Indiana was up by 5 points, leading 47-42, and clearly had control of the game. The third quarter started with Indiana continuing their strong play. Caitlin Clark passed to Kelsey Mitchell for a quick two-pointer, showing that Indiana wasn't slowing down. Clark then hit another deep three-pointer, electrifying the crowd once again. Chicago's Rachel Banham made a three-pointer in an attempt to close the gap, but Clark calmly made 3 free throws after being fouled, increasing Indiana's lead to 11 points. Chicago struggled to keep up. Michaela managed to score a three-pointer for the Sky, but Smith immediately responded with another basket for Indiana. Angel Reese found herself in foul trouble, which made things even harder for Chicago. Clark kept feeding her teammates with perfect passes, adding more points to Indiana's score. Diamond DeShields came off the bench for Chicago and tried to spark a comeback with a two-pointer, but Indiana kept pushing. Smith made 2 free throws and then sank a three-pointer, pushing the lead to 12 points. Chicago looked tired and out of sync, struggling to find any rhythm. Isabel Harris managed to make a long shot for the Sky, but it wasn't enough to stop Indiana. Demirez Dantas hit a three-pointer, and Lexi Hull added 2 free throws to finish the quarter. At the end of the third quarter, Indiana was firmly in control, leading 78-64. The fourth quarter was all about Indiana holding their ground. Kelsey Mitchell drove to the basket for another two-pointer, increasing Indiana's lead to 16 points. Boston from Chicago tried to rally her team by scoring 2 quick baskets, but Indiana's lead was too big to overcome. Banham hit a three-pointer, but Lexi Hull quickly answered with a three-pointer of her own, keeping Indiana's lead at 18 points. Banham made a few more points for Chicago, but it wasn't enough. Indiana kept up their relentless play, with Clark adding another three-pointer to seal the game. By the last 2 minutes, it was clear that Indiana would win. The game ended with Indiana taking a strong victory, sending a message to the rest of the league. Caitlin Clark had an outstanding game, finishing with 31 points, 12 assists, and 4 rebounds, making a strong case for Rookie of the Year. Angel Reese, on the other hand, had a challenging game, scoring only 10 points and adding 2 assists, though she did pull down 11 rebounds. Reese's recent struggles have raised questions about whether she can live up to the high expectations placed on her. To silence her critics and prove her worth, Reese will need to step up her game in the upcoming matches. Overall, this match between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky was a thrilling contest, with Indiana coming out on top and showing that they are a team to watch this season. That's a wrap.
And with that, when Caitlin's getting drags in the middle of the floor, with that kind of spacing, with Kelsey on one side, Lexi and how she's shooting the basketball on the other. You know, Dee Dee's been able to stretch it for us. We just got options, and it's just, you have to figure out how you want to guard us.
Pretty good defense, so I'm proud of us. Nobody panicked. We kind of just settled into the game, but we definitely need to get off to a better start. We're just reading each other, and that's not something the other team can like scout for. Like, you don't know what we're gonna do. We don't know what we're gonna do. It just
Caitlin
happens.
Clark's performance was amazing, and she really showed why she's one of the best in the WNBA. The game between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky was exciting, and Clark's standout play against Angel Reese proved who's in charge on the court. What do you think? Can Angel Reese bounce back? Will Caitlin Clark keep breaking records? Share your comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any updates.